Hey there, Coastal Bend. Chris Thomasson joined by Odem Owls coach Armando Huerta. Coach, first, thanks for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right, we'll just jump right in. The season now just days away. Last year obviously didn't go the way you guys wanted it to, not the way you're accustomed to having them go. So how did that fuel this offseason? You know, any differences or changes this offseason?
I think so. Obviously, it was a humbling experience for myself, for the staff, for the kids. And, we really had to look in the mirror and see what were some of the root causes for some of those things. And we took about three different things that we addressed all off season. But the one thing that's always been a constant for us is the weight room. That didn't change. That didn't change at all. But we spent some time focusing on red zone, third down defense, and special teams.
You know, obviously, I know your focus has now shifted to game week week one prep. But what were some things that you saw well in the first few weeks of camp and the couple of scrimmages?
I think there's a hunger there. We've always been at the top of the pecking order and kind of been the hunted, and now it's like people are overlooking us, not expecting much, and our kids want that respect back. So now we're in hunting mode. We're the hunter for the first time in a while, and these kids, which is a new group of kids, they want some respect. They want to be winners. They want people to notice who they are, but obviously they're going to have to go out there and earn that.
Yeah, you kind of transitioned to my next question. Less than half the starters returning. The ones that you do have back from last year, how are they gelling with some of those newer guys?
I think the chemistry's great. It's really good chemistry. Again, the work ethic is there. My whole thing, though, is you just can't simulate actual real games. And we won't know, who we really are until we get on the field this Friday and start to see.
You know, like I mentioned earlier, you guys are used, and you mentioned earlier, you guys are used to being on top, a little bit of a humbling experience last year. So what's it going to take for this group to kind of reestablish itself and get Odem back to where it's used to being?
I think it's a lot of it's the details of the game. I think we got sloppy in some aspects of the game. We've always been good in the trenches, and we've been good on defense. So going back to what it's going to take, we got to play smart and consistently. There was many a times last year where we looked really, really good, but the inconsistencies ended up costing us ball games, and we're just going to want to take care of that, be more consistent. But going back to this new group of kids, I will say this is the first time in a long time, like you were mentioning, not a bunch of starters back, not a bunch of returning, in fact, no returning captains. And so the leadership is a new thing too. Completely new set of captains, completely new offensive line. We got a new defensive coordinator, a new defensive scheme. So there's a lot of new variables here, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
And I guess that's something that just kind of develops as the year goes on, right? You can't just expect the new captains to go in and just start commanding it right away, or can you?
Well, we start identifying that in the off season. So we spend all spring, going through our routines, going through our activities, and seeing who was standing out, who was naturally leading the group in the pack. And then it led into the summer workouts, who was here leading by example and who was holding teammates accountable. And then we got here to start the season, and I'll tell you, the kids actually, they determine the bulk of the captains, right? So they voted on 2, and the coaches voted on 1, and now we left a 4th spot open that'll change week to week based on who's earned the right to go out there and represent us. But we did come out of there with 3 captains, and they earned it.
There you go. What are your thoughts on the district this year?
It's definitely going to be interesting. Taft came off a really good season, and Coach Castellano left, and so I'm curious to see how, their kids, if they got a really good quarterback coming back, how that all transitions with the new coaching staff, who we also know from previous years there in Taft before. Hebbronville was pretty solid on the sub-varsity level. They got their coaching staff back. I think they made a change on offense that could be a difference maker. Santa Rosa's got everybody back, and so they're going to be pretty tough. Coach Bennett over at George West, he really does a good job. I'm expecting his second year to be a really good year. Banquetti, you know, they surprised some people last year, and I don't think it'll be a surprise this year. Then there leaves us. I really think everybody's got a shot. It's just a matter of who's going to be consistent, who's going to avoid injuries, who's going to probably, you know, eliminate the turnovers or some of that bad luck that maybe we had last year.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I know you guys are going to put in a lot of work to try and crack that top 4. You start the season this week against Karn City in week 1. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thank you again, and I said we're excited about it, and we're looking forward to an exciting year.
Appreciate you. We're looking forward to covering you.
Thank you, guys.